morning, students. Welcome to the digital classroom with Holy Heart Schools. Today, we are going to continue with our chapter Rotation and Revolution. In today's video, we will be learning about the revolution of the Earth, under which we will be studying about the inclination of the Earth's axis and effects of the Earth revolution. While going through these topics, we will be learning some new words like number 1, revolution, the movement of the Earth around the Sun. Number 2, orbit, the fixed path along which the Earth revolves around the Sun. Number 3, perihelion, the position of the Earth when it is closest to the Sun. Number 4, aphelion, the position of the Earth when it is farthest from the Sun. Number 5, solstice, time when sun rays fall directly either on Tropic of Cancer or Tropic of Capricorn. Number 6, summer solstice, the time when sun shines vertically over Tropic of Cancer, that is on 21st of June. Number 7, winter solstice, the time when sun shines vertically over Tropic of Capricorn, that is on 22nd December. Number 8, equinox, the time when sun rays fall directly over the equator and the days and nights are equal in both the hemisphere. Now students, please open up your chapter number 3, page number 25, topic revolution of the Earth. But before we start with the topic, let's have a brief about today's topic. We know that Earth rotates on its own axis and this axis is tilted. With this axis, the Earth revolves around the Sun in a fixed elliptical orbit. That is the orbit that appears like an ellipse, which means an elongated circle. So, the movement of the Earth around the Sun on a fixed path, or we can say in an elliptical orbit, it is called as revolution. The Earth completes one revolution around the Sun in 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes and 45.51 seconds. But we roughly take it as 365 days and 6 hours. Now to adjust these 6 hours, we have the concept of leap year. And leap year comes once in 4 years. So, on the 4th year in February, instead of 28 days, we have 29 days. And in this way, we adjust this 6 hours. The revolution of the Earth leads to various phenomena. As we have already discussed that Earth revolves around the Sun in an elliptical orbit. Now, here we can see that Sun is not exactly in the center of the ellipse. And because of this, when the Earth is revolving around the Sun, there are times when it is closer to the Sun and there are times when it is far away from the Sun. When the Earth is closest to the Sun, this position is called perihelion, and when it is farthest from the Sun, this position is called aphelion. When it is closest, at that time the distance is between 146 to 147.3 million kilometer, and when it is farthest, at that time the distance is between 151 to 152 million kilometer. The minimum distance of the Earth from the Sun is reached on 3rd of January, and the maximum distance that is furthest from the Sun is reached on 4th of July. So, aphelion occurs on 4th of July and perihelion occurs on 3rd of January. The Earth moves at an average speed of 30 km per second, or it is easy to remember as 1,08,000 km per hour. When the Earth comes closer to the Sun, at that time the speed of the revolution around the Sun increases, and when it is far away from the Sun, the speed of revolution reduces. This is because of the gravitational pull of the Sun. So now students, let's start with our reading of the topic today. Revolution of the Earth. Apart from rotating means spinning on its own axis, the Earth also revolves around the Sun on the fixed path. This motion of the earth around the sun is called revolution. Both the motions of the earth, rotation and revolution, occur simultaneously, means at the same time. The earth takes about 1 year to complete one revolution. Thus, it is also called as annual motion of the earth. Annual motion means yearly motion. Actually, the time taken by the earth to complete one revolution around the sun is 365.24 days. That is about 1/4 day more than the calendar year of 365 days. In a layman language, we can say 365 days and 6 hours. So after every 4 years, the extra 1/4 day adds up to about 1 full day. We can also calculate it. 6 multiplied by 4 equals to 24. So 24 hours and 24 hours make a day. This day is added in the month of February and the year contains 366 days. This year and the extra day are called the leap year and the leap day respectively. Leap year is a year which occurs once every 4 years, where it is having 366 days. The fixed path along which the earth revolves around the sun is called the orbit of the earth, that we have already discussed. The shape of the earth's orbit is not circular but elliptical, that is oval. This means that the distance between the earth and the sun does not remain the same throughout the year. The earth is nearest to the sun on or about 3rd January and the distance between the earth and the sun is about 146 kilometers. This position is called perihelion. Peri means near or helion means sun. The earth is farthest point from the sun on about 4th July and the distance between the earth and the sun is about 151 million kilometers. This position is called aphelion. Up means away from and helion means sun. The mean distance between the sun and the earth is about 148.5 million kilometers. The earth revolves around the sun in an anti-clock direction, that is from west to east, that we have already discussed when we have done rotation, at an average speed of 30 kilometers per second or about 1,08,000 kilometers per hour. The total distance travelled by the earth to complete one revolution around the sun is 940 million kilometers. According to the Kepler's law of planetary motion, the earth moves fastest when it is in perihelion and slowest when it is in aphelion. This is the second law of planetary motion that describes the speed of the planet travelling in an elliptical orbit around the sun. Now next we are starting up with the inclination of the earth's axis. As we have already discussed before, the axis of the earth is tilted at an angle of 23.5 degrees from the vertex. This means that if a line is drawn parallel to the plane of the earth's orbit, the earth would make an angle of 66.5 degrees to this line. As we all know that earth is always tilted in the same direction and its north pole is pointing towards the pole star as it is revolving around the sun. Due to the inclination of the earth axis, there is a variation in the length of day and night, which reveals that duration of day and night varies according to earth's position in the orbit. The winters have longer nights and the summers have longer days. When the northern hemisphere experiences summer, the southern hemisphere experiences winters and vice versa. The duration of day and night are equal at the equator, and as we move away from the equator, the difference in the duration of the day and night increases. Due to the revolution of the earth, the main change that we see is the seasonal change. Because of the revolution of the earth, we have in first phase summer, in second phase rain, and in third phase retreating monsoons, and in the fourth phase we have winters. Now how does all this happen? Suppose we take these four positions of the earth. In the first position, the date is 21st of March. In the second position, the date is 21st of June. In the third position, the date is 23rd of September. And in the fourth position, the date is 22nd of December. When the Earth is in second position, if you look carefully, the northern hemisphere is facing the sun. And when it is in the fourth position, the southern hemisphere is facing the sun. But when the Earth is in its first or third position, none of the poles are facing the sun. So the inclination of the Earth axis does not have any impact on the sun rays that it receives. So on 21st of March, vertical rays of the sun falls on the equator and entire Earth has equal day and equal night. But as it is moving from first position to second position, slowly the northern hemisphere tilts toward the sun. So in the northern hemisphere, the days become longer and the nights become shorter. And this gives rise to the summer condition. And we can say that in this phase, there is summer in India. On 21st of June, the vertical rays of the sun falls on Tropic of Cancer. This is the maximum inclination of the Earth axis of the northern hemisphere towards the sun, and this is referred to as summer solstice. As we come to the third position, once again the days and nights are equal, and in this phase India experiences rain. In this phase, complete Earth has equal days and equal night. And as we come to the fourth position, the date is 22nd of December. The southern hemisphere is facing the sun and vertical rays of the sun falls on Tropic of Capricorn. And this is the time the northern hemisphere experiences winter solstice. So, first and third positions are referred to as equinox because of equal days and night. The first position is referred to as spring equinox and the third position is referred to as autumn equinox. Now, if we see this image carefully, we will notice the variation in the length of days and nights, and this is all due to the revolution. From 22nd March to 20th June, that is between spring equinox and summer solstice, the length of the day increases in the northern hemisphere and the nights become shorter. Now, from 22nd June to 22nd September, that is from summer solstice to autumn equinox, the days become shorter in the northern hemisphere, but they are still longer than the nights. Next is from 24th September to 21st December, that is between autumn equinox and winter solstice, the days start becoming shorter and nights become longer. And in the last phase, we have from 23rd December to 22nd of March, that is from winter solstice to spring equinox, the days start becoming longer in the northern hemisphere but are still shorter than the nights. So now students, let's come back to our reading. Inclination of the Earth axis. Inclination means tilting of the axis. The axis of the Earth is an imaginary line passing through the center of the Earth. This axis of the Earth is inclined, means tilted at an angle of 66.5 degree to the plane of ecliptic. This axis of the Earth always maintains two peculiar positions. Its inclination with the plane of ecliptic is an angle of 66.5 degree or tilted at about 23.5 degree away from the perpendicular, that means an angle of 90 degree to the plane of ecliptic, that I have already explained. The axis always points towards the pole star, as the pole star is at infinite distance from the Earth. It means which is impossible to calculate. The axis of the Earth always remain inclined in the same direction, means tilting at the same direction at an angle of 66.5 degree. Due to the inclination of the Earth's axis, the circle of illumination, it means the division of day and night over the Earth, shifts its position as the Earth revolves around the Sun. This reveals that the duration of day and night varies according to the Earth position in the orbit. This I have already explained. The winters have longer nights and the summers have longer days. When the northern hemisphere experiences longer nights, the southern hemisphere experiences longer days and vice versa. For example, when we experience winter in India, there is summers in Australia. The duration of day and nights at equator is always the sun because it is always receiving the vertical rays of the sun. As we move away from the equator, the difference in the duration of night and day increases. The following observations are noted in the course of Earth's revolution. The Earth receives perpendicular rays of the sun on the Tropic of Cancer on 21st of June. At this time, the northern hemisphere receives more heat and light as it is summers. The days are longer and the nights are shorter in the northern hemisphere. This position is called summer solstice in the northern hemisphere and winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. On 22nd of December, the position of the earth is reversed. The sun shines vertically over the Tropic of Capricorn. Now the southern hemisphere is inclined towards the sun while the northern hemisphere is away from the sun. This position is known as summer solstice in the southern hemisphere. At this time, the northern hemisphere enjoys winter season and is known as winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. Now here I can take an example of 25th of December. We celebrate Christmas when there is winters in the northern hemisphere. But on the same date, there is summers in the southern hemisphere. So the people in Australia celebrate Christmas in summers. The earth maintains its position towards the sun in such a manner that sun shines vertically over equator on 21st March and 23rd of September. As we have already discussed before we start this topic, that on 21st March and 23rd of September the length of days and nights are equal. Then the earth is said to be in the spring and autumnal equinox respectively on these days. Equinox means equal days and equal nights. Now next we have effects of the earth revolution. There are two main effects that are caused by the revolution of the earth. One is the variation of length of the day and night, and second is the phenomena of seasons. The variation in the length of days and nights on the earth's surface is due to the inclination of the earth's axis. As a result of this inclination, the northern hemisphere is inclined towards the sun for about 6 months and southern hemisphere during other 6 months of the year. The length of days and nights is always equal at the equator throughout the year. It increases or decreases as one moves away from the equator towards the poles. As I have already explained you the position of the earth on different dates during the course of its revolution, now let's read it from that book. On 21st of March, the sun shines vertically over the equator and all the places along the equator experiences day and night of equal duration. This is also known as spring equinox. From 22nd March to 20th June, the length of the day increases in the northern hemisphere, and in the southern hemisphere the length of the night increases because it always goes opposite to each other. On 21st of June, the sun shines vertically over the Tropic of Cancer. All the places in the northern hemisphere experiences the longest day. The Arctic Circle at 66.5 degree north experiences daylight for 24 hours. The southern hemisphere experiences the shortest day, and Antarctic Circle at 66.5 degrees south experiences the complete darkness for 24 hours. As we all know, the pole facing the sun will experience 24 hours daylight because of the slanting rays of the sun. From 22nd June to 22nd September, the days become shorter in the northern hemisphere, but they are still longer than the nights. In the southern hemisphere, the nights start becoming shorter, but they are still longer than that of days. On 23rd September, the sun shines vertically over the equator and all the places along the equator experiences day and night for equal duration. From 24th September to 21st December, the days start becoming shorter and are less than 12 hours in the northern hemisphere. The nights are longer than the days. In the southern hemisphere, the days continue to become longer and remain longer than the nights. On 22nd December, the sun shines vertically over the Tropic of Capricorn. All the places in the southern hemisphere experience the longest day. The Antarctic Circle at 66.5 degree south experiences daylight for 24 hours. The northern hemisphere experiences the shortest day, and Arctic Circle at 66.5 degree north experiences complete darkness for 24 hours. From 23rd December to 20th March, the days start becoming longer in the northern hemisphere but are still shorter than the nights, that is less than 12 hours of daylight. In southern hemisphere, the nights start becoming longer but are still shorter than the day. So now students, this was our topic for the day. Please revise your topic and try to do the related exercises. Thank you.